Hey everyone, I'm Melanie from Streamline Legal, where we help law firms build systems that reduce stress. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about supercharging your practice management software. And this is going to work for any software that works with Zapier. So Clio, Practice Panther, if you have a non-legal software you're working with, this may work as well. Because Zapier is going to be the tool that we're going to use to do this. And we've talked a lot about Zapier on these videos, and so a lot of what we talk about and what Zapier advertises is the idea that it can help apps work together, which is fantastic, and it does that very well. But the other thing that people don't think as much about is the idea that Zapier can make your practice management that much more powerful and really supercharge it, enable it to do things that maybe it didn't do before. So I've come up with a couple of examples that I think will be really key and really helpful in helping you to see this example and make this happen in your firm. So the first one is to set up a Zap in Zapier that will allow you to auto-create a new time entry anytime a new file is opened. So for example, if I'm working in Clio and I open a new matter in Clio, it will allow a time entry to be created automatically that will be something to the effect of setting up the new file. So if there are things that you do every time you get a new file that you bill for, such as the file setup or review of a contract or something like that, then we can go ahead and set up a Zap that will auto-create that time entry once you create a new matter in Clio. Another example that we can use is creating a calendar event. So we could set it up so that every time you create a calendar event that says court appearance, then it will automatically create a time entry for that court appearance. So this is something that would be really useful, especially if you're doing a lot of litigation. For those situations where it's a little tricky to track our time, right? We're doing 10 different court appearances at once, and that's a lot to track. So if instead, every time we put a court appearance in our calendar, that would auto-create a time entry for us. Now, of course, these time entries may not be perfect as far as the length of time, and that will have to be edited, but at least it works as a great reminder and a great start for that time entry so that you're not having to create those on your own every single time. And then the last one that I have is to create a time entry anytime we complete a task. So Clio does make it relatively easy to create those time entries by clicking on Add Time, but if we want to automate that process so that we don't even have to click on Add Time, we can go ahead and say every time that we check off a task is complete, then Clio will create a time entry, or Practice Panther, or whatever system you're using that works with Zapier. So those are just a couple of examples as to how we can use Zapier to make the system you're already using that much more powerful. And of course, time entries being a great example, because that is something that a lot of attorneys struggle with. So if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out. In the meantime, thanks for tuning in. Have a great afternoon.